I would say like the vegetable which people are the most scared of, it would be a potato. It has got tremendous health benefits and people don't realize it and they underestimate it. Sleep is extremely important. A person who's trying to lose weight, if he's going to eat healthy, exercise a lot, but not sleep well, I'm not going to see the results. A woman of 40 probably can't be as lean as what she was in her 20s, and this is a realistic fact. And there are a lot of women who come to me and say, like, say about, 10 years back, this is what my weight was, and now it's getting very difficult. No, but this is a new normal for you. Understand that. Kombucha, kimchi, and all need not be taken as, in larger quantities, like how you will take a sabzi. It has to be taken in very minute quantities, probably, just taking it like a pickle on the side. So start with a salad or start with a clear soup and then, move on to the protein and then finally move on to the carbs and say no to sweets and desserts if you want to be mindful.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cafe Rainy Days. Today, I'm so excited because we are going to meet Avanti Deshpande, who is one of the top Indian nutritionists present. I mean, Khalij Times, refers you as one of the top 10, Avanti. And so I'm so excited to talk about all these various nutritional aspects, talk about a bit about your journey, talk about so many, so many fads that we are bombarded with on the internet. This is also a very modern trend of talking about nutrition because I'm sure my Aji, wouldn't have talked about protein, carbohydrate. She would have said, eat what is on your plate. A bit about Avanti. Avanti is not just a top nutritionist. She wears a lot of feathers in her cap. She's also an author. She's also faculty. She's given several lectures in various places. She consults. So yeah, and a mom. So we're super excited. So just to give a sort of flavor of things, I thought we'll do a rapid fire. We'll begin with a rapid fire. But first and foremost, welcome Avanti to Cafe Rainy Days.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sujata. Such a great introduction.
I mean, this is you, so
Somehow you just need to resonate. Somehow you just need to remember, resonate.
So like I said, Avanti, let's, if you're up to it, let's do this rapid fire.
Sure.
If you could answer in yes, no, one line, and then if you think, this needs a bit more delving, then of course we've got the hour to talk about it. Yeah. What food should everyone be eating more of?
I would say whole foods. This would include fruits and vegetables and beans and millets. So these are the foods, yes.
What is that one food that people should consider giving up?
Sugar, definitely.
Okay, yes. I did sort of wonder if you're going to say that. Okay.
But I would say, Sujata, it would be white sugar. Give up white sugar completely. Yeah.
Biggest nutrition myth that you would like to bust?
Biggest nutrition myth that I would like to bust. Carbs are not good for you.
Okay, and that's also the latest myth, one of the latest myths. Best snack that you would go to or anybody should go to maybe when you're traveling or, when you're feeling peckish?
It would be a nut butter and a fruit or probably hummus and vegetables.
Great. Most important meal of the day?
I would still call it breakfast.
Okay. Best source of plant-based protein? Another hot topic.
It would be your beans, legumes, sprouts that you consume. That will be the best source of plant-based protein. And whole nuts and seeds.
What do you think is the most underrated vegetable?
Most underrated vegetable. I would say like the vegetable which people are the most scared of, it would be a potato. It has got tremendous health benefits and people don't realize it and they underestimate it.
We'll talk more about that. That's very interesting. One of the things that as we were growing up, we were told, if you're putting on weight, there's a worry of heart disease. And so therefore, give up oils, give up fats. True or false?
False.
One exercise if you're short on time and you can only do one.
So I believe in our Indian system of yoga. And Surya Namaskar is one exercise which I would say surpasses everything else.
Your favorite Indian superfood?
sweet potato.
Oh, okay. And that's the end of the rapid fire. You pass with flying colors.
Thank you.
she says
Thank you.
she says to the qualified nutritionist.
No, no, no. We need that validation at times.
Oh. So since I sort of I'm joking about this and saying I say to the qualified nutritionist, tell us a bit about your journey and why you came into this field. I mean, we will um, audience, we will definitely delve more into the sort of nutritional aspects, but it's also interesting to find out a person's journey
So,
about
Sujata,
yourself.
it was the nutrition that chose me. It was not me who chose nutrition. So I am still, I love cooking. I'm fond of food. I have some sort of an affinity towards food, learning new recipes, understanding the science behind it. And each ingredient behaves in a particular way when it is exposed to different temperatures or different conditions. So this is what interests me right since the beginning. So
Yeah.
the thing is, I always love, I mean, I still love food. And so I used to always experiment with different recipes. And that's how, first I decided to go in for catering, but, the colleges were outside Pune and I was not too comfortable traveling really far away from Pune. So that's why I decided to take up a course in food science and quality control, which is offered by SNET. And that was the first course that was introduced. And from there, it was no turning back because I loved whatever I learned over there. I started working in the food industry, but I felt that that was not enough. That is where I decided to, get my further education, and I did my master's in nutrition. And ever since I have been working into this field. So it has been about 20 plus years. And I think I like this field. That's why I'm still here. Otherwise, it would not be a passion. That's why it doesn't seem like work to me at all.
So it seems to go hand in hand with helping people because, yes, you are a nutritionist by profession, but you also do these talks, you write for magazines, you come on podcasts like mine. Just a quick sort of note to say to the audiences that literally I just said to Avanti, do you mind doing a podcast with me? We are only a small channel. And she didn't even stop. She straight away said yes. I mean, it's, that itself shows your passion to help people in this field. So who is a nutritionist?
So I would say a nutritionist is somebody who's qualified and at least, see, like I have done my 7 years in the field of nutrition. It's like starting from 11th grade itself. So 11th grade, 12th grade, home science. Then I moved on to a graduation and then a post graduation, and then there's the years of experience. So that is what is very important because finally you're dealing with health, you're dealing with life, and it's very important that you have this entire 360-degree know-how of the science, how it applies to humans, how it applies to the food products that the humans consume, as well as the different processing and how that is going to affect the human life, and how each and every ingredient is going to behave in the body. That can't be taught over a period of 6 months. It has to be in-depth knowledge, which is about I took it 7 years because I started from 11, but at least 5 years, which is like graduation and post graduation. And then we do different internships, we work in hospitals, we take the first hand experience, and that is how we are qualified to work with people, and not just doing a short course of 3 months and 6 months and say, okay, I'm a health coach, and then start coaching people. There's a gap in the society where a person, they don't really understand or try to see the educational qualification. And I would urge to all the people listening here, please know the qualification. Don't feel shy to ask the qualification of a nutritionist whom you're going to visit. So not just the results, of course, we want to see the results with the other clients, but more than that, a nutritionist will know you and give you tailor-made results rather than something which is going to be a universal application.
Yeah, yeah, and also with the same sort of in the same vein of things, you find this advice on internet saying, oh, do this first thing in the morning, this will bust your sugar, this will lose weight in 2 days or whatever, and that's exactly the difference, right? Quite conveniently coming onto these internet advice and trends, and how do you stay focused and how do you stay true? So you'll every single WhatsApp University, every single morning you get up and you get like sprouted this cow and start eating, I don't know, nuts. So give up sugar, only eat jaggery from today, or get up and most things also start with do this in the morning. So there's 20 things to do in the morning. So for yourself, how do you know that this is just a trend?
Okay. So the thing is, it's very simple. It's because, we have studied nutrition and its science thoroughly. So the thing is like, now, okay, it's very difficult to judge as such for a layman. But you need to see, so this is how we work on it, so because of the knowledge that we have, we refer to only something that is, from a source that we know of. And then, there will be a lot of things coming and going from the net, but ultimately we will, validate it through the research articles. And I mean, this is what I would say to a layman also. If a trend is coming, try to understand how latest is the trend, or is there any research that has gone behind it? And a research of at least 5 years should support the trend that is happening, and not
Mm,
something that you've just heard, and then and then that is a trend, meaning that is something which just lasts for a short time and then it will pass. But what do you say, a scientific backing to a particular revelation, or particular science, and of course science is going to evolve. So it is not right to say that all trends are bad. Some of them are pretty good, but you need to understand. You need to see that they have been supported with a good research framework. They are ethical from the ethical places, and then if you see that this work has been carried out for the say 5 years minimum at least going back, then yes, it is something that which you can adapt to. If not, don't get into it at
mm,
all.
mm. Great. During the rapid fire, Avanti, you interestingly, so I'd like to definitely explore more about on two things. So one is carbohydrates. You said that the biggest myth could be perhaps that give up carbohydrates, and that's such a trend these days. I mean, keto diets, and give up every carbohydrate becomes sugar, so give up carbohydrates. And then the second thing that I'd also like to delve into, potatoes. But yeah, let's or maybe it's interconnected.
So the thing is, just to just I'm going to give a scientific background to it. Why I said so. Carbohydrates, protein, and fat are the three sources from where you get energy. The major work of proteins is to give you energy. Sorry, it's for the muscle build up. It's a part of your enzymes. It's a part of your hormone system. It's a part of your immune system. So basically, protein has to do all these functions, and energy is not the first work of protein. Okay. Now, as against that, giving you
Mhm.
energy is the first work of carbohydrates. And if you do not give enough of carbohydrates in the body, then the protein has to function as a source of energy. And that is where it will not be able to function, perform the other functions in the body. Same thing
Ah,
happens with fat. Fat gives you energy, but fat also plays different roles in the body. So, energy coming from your fats and your carbohydrates, and then protein functions in helping you with all the other things. Now, the
mhm,
minute you do not give enough of carbs, your body is going to take protein as a source of energy. Then you start having protein deficiency, and muscle loss is the first thing that you see. That is why
mhm,
carbohydrates are very, very important. Having said that, carbohydrates are very different. I mean, they're divided into different categories. Okay. You will have the ones which are complex carbohydrates, which you see from your potatoes, sweet potatoes, cereals, that is, your rice, millets, chapati, wheat, as well as coming from the starchy vegetables or the fruits, like, coming in from banana. These are something which we insist, and not the ones which are the simple ones. That is the ones which come from the direct sugar, or the ones that come, from fizzy drinks or the candies
mhm,
that you consume. So that is a big no-no. But
mhm,
of course, you need complex carbohydrates in the body. Of course, most of the listeners, a few only might be into sports, but for sports people, we do insist on simple carbohydrates at times as well. But for a
mhm,
general population, complex carbohydrates plays a very important role to give you energy. So this is the importance of carbohydrates, and that is where the people are missing out on it.
mhm. So, just for the layperson, a complex carbohydrate is something that takes longer to digest?
Yes, so a complex carbohydrate is starch. Okay. Now, starch has to break down into simple sugars, that is glucose, and glucose is the only form which is absorbed in the body. That is the simplest form of a carbohydrate. Now, when you're going to give your body food like, for example, millets, okay, or let's take something like beans, okay, then what happens is these beans come not only just with starch, but they come with fiber and they come with the other B complex vitamins as well. So what happens is your body takes a longer time to digest this because of the fiber which is present in it, so that the food that remains in your gut or the small and the large intestine is for a longer period of time, so that the nutrition absorption goes much better, bowel formation is much better, constipation issues are not there, and there's a good balance between all the food groups that you consume. So complex carbohydrates are the ones that contain starch. Let me just quote examples again: potatoes, sweet potatoes, bananas, even fruits like papaya and this custard apple, which is commonly available here in India. If you have to consider things from UK, then it would be, of course, potatoes, sweet potatoes, very commonly available there. Even like your sweet fruits like grapes, berries, these also have got simple carb. I mean, not really simple carbohydrate, but they have got fructose present, which is also form of a carbohydrate. They also have got other benefits. And of course, but we consume fruit and vegetables for the purpose of not only starch, but also the other vitamins and phytochemicals which are present there. But if complex carbohydrate, potatoes, sweet potatoes, banana, then rice, wheat, millets. So these are all. And the breads and the sourdough breads, everything comes into that. Even the
Mm.
noodles come into that.
Again, another thing that I've often heard, especially with diabetics, is, oh, give up rice. True or false?
False, absolutely false. I've got patients who have diabetes and they're happily eating rice. Now this is the trick that we do. Okay, and I'm sharing it on your channel today. So
Great.
what you have to do is different rice are different. Okay, different varieties of rice have got different starch content, and starch is also of two different types. So just to convert it into layman language, rice that is basmati rice is something that which we recommend. Now, one more trick you could do is if you are a diabetic, what you have to do is cook the rice, store it in the refrigerator overnight. Next day, you can warm it and consume it. The
Oh,
process of storing it overnight converts a component of the starch into something which is known as resistant starch, which then starts acting like a fiber, and it is not starch at all. So that in fact
oh,
increases the time of digestion of that particular rice. Now, rice only if you consume with rice with vegetables, not a great idea because both of them are carbohydrates. But when you're going to consume rice with a source of protein, maybe if people are consuming non-vegetarian, then non-vegetarian sources. Otherwise, beans is there, then paneer is there, milk and milk products are there. So if you combine rice with a milk source, sorry, with a protein source,
protein
and
source.
then with a fiber source, that is your salads, and do not to forget ghee, which we commonly add onto our food. So this is something which we call as a balanced diet. And when you do that, the glycemic index is much lesser because of all these components taken in together, and that definitely uh, reduces the time of increases the time of
Increase.
digestion, and and the formation of glucose takes a longer time, and automatically the blood sugar rises much slower.
What turned me towards you, Avanti, when I approached you saying, will you come on the channel, is exactly this sort of advice. So I was listening to another of your podcasts, and you were talking about how diabetics should safely be able to eat mangoes in the season,
Yes,
in the mango season.
yes, yes,
And that's where you
yes,
said you were talking about mango and I think ghee.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
And it's, yes, another of your tricks, right? So what's happening there? Same thing?
Same thing, same thing. So you know what is happening is mango when you eat directly, it is going to be a pure form of and the mango has got the fiber content and all will be a little lesser than probably what the other complex carbs will be, and
Hmm.
sugar will be in the form of fructose also. So
Hmm.
in that case, in order to reduce the glycemic index, the same thing, so that the blood sugar rise is going to be much slow. But having said that, Diabetics do need to be a little careful with fruits like mango. And
Right.
of course, you can enjoy the fruit of the season. It is pretty much required. But then you just need to be mindful. If you're heavily diabetic, make it a point to check your blood sugar probably after you consume mango, 2 hours after you consume mango. And after doing this trick, if there is no rice, please go ahead and have one mango every day.
The fact that you talked about how rice can be combined with your dals or your chicken curry or whatever, plus a salad, brings you to a wholesome Indian plate, Indian
Yes,
meal plate.
yes. Hmm.
So, yeah, so really, you don't need to give up things that you're used
You
to.
don't have to. You don't have to. And your
Yeah.
nutritionist should exactly be able to help you with that. Whatever
Mm,
you're eating, whatever you're consuming, able to tweak your existing diet so that whatever diet you follow becomes your lifestyle rather than, just because you're with me, you are following that. And once you are dissociated with me, you are not going to be, you're going to
mm,
you're stuck like, now, how do I go ahead with it?
yeah.
So in this whole process, you need to educate, understand everybody's got different lifestyle. Even in one family, the husband and wife also have got different lifestyle,
Mm,
different probably different medical conditions, different ages, different levels of physical activity. So yes, we try to keep something similar, but we have to keep it more individualized. That is the most effective way of following a diet rather than following something which is very different from the food that you're consuming. You can do it for a few days, but you can't do it lifelong because that's not your soul food. Then you
mm,
tend to give it up. Then you
mm,
tend to stop dieting. And we don't give diets. We help you to change your lifestyle. That is what we
mm.
work on.
Mm. And that's why you talk a lot about a wholesome life. So not just focusing on diet, but also other things like, I've seen on your channel, you give out recipes, you talk about
Yeah.
exercise. So if you could
Yes.
sort of, what is it, what is it that constitutes of good health, and not just, other than food?
So there are several pillars to it. The first pillar will be, of course, food, because everything revolves around food. But having said that, sleep is extremely important
Mm,
because a person who's trying to lose weight, if he's going to eat healthy, exercise a lot, but not sleep well, I'm not going to see the results. Or, that person is going to be frustrated following the diet also because it's very difficult and tedious if you're not sleeping well and, still able to do your day's activity easily with ease. So, food is important. Exercise, of course, is important. And exercise, one thing I would like to say, do any form of exercise that you like to do because you're going to stick to it for a longer period of time. So I will suggest a diet based upon the exercise that you like, and it exactly should be that way, not just with me. So food is definitely something that we work on, but we also need to work upon exercise. And as I said, exercise is something which you like to do. Choose an exercise which you like to do because you can stick to it for a longer period of time. So if you love to dance, we can plan a diet around it. If you love to go to the gym, we can plan a diet around it. If you say, okay, I have no time, just 20 minutes of time, then you can take out the 20 minutes of time and you can do home workouts and food can be planned around it. So, exercise is a must. There is no two ways about it. 20 to 30 minutes of exercise is what we recommend. But the form of exercise that you do is entirely up to you, and the diet can be, planned accordingly. But make sure that you are being active at least 20 to 30 minutes of the day, apart from whatever probably, 5, 6,000 steps that you will be walking. So that is one thing you can do. Then the next important pillar is sleep. Because if your sleep is not complete, you are not going to see an effect in your diet or the exercise that you're following. Neither is your day going to be fruitful because you're going to feel tired and exhausted in the day. Then after that is stress management. Now, stress management is a very, very vast topic and, very
mm,
vague also to some people because stress can be of different ways. It could
mm,
be because of your work. It could be because of, wrong eating habits. It could be because, probably, your life itself is very busy that you're not able to manage a lot of things put together. Maybe there are tensions at work. Maybe stress is very short-lived. There are some stressful events that happen only for a short period of time and then definitely they affect you over a longer time. So stress is very vague, but the solution to managing stress is definitely through food by choosing the right foods as well as following certain mindful practices like getting up, sitting in your bed and just doing a 5 minutes of meditation is going to definitely make a see difference in your day And you don't really have to meditate for half an hour and 1 hour, 5 minutes. So managing stress is essential, and that can happen through mindful practices. You need to consciously make it a point to sit up in your bed 5 minutes after you wake up in the morning and do meditation. It could be music meditation. It could be just sitting silent. It could be, listening to some ragas or some, some sort of a podcast which is inspiring. But that is essential because that is going
Mm.
to improve your productivity and that is going to enhance your life as well.
That is so interesting. I'm actually going to flip the question and ask you, how can food reduce your stress? I mean, you've heard of stress eating, but how do you eat to reduce stress?
Yes. So that is a known fact. And in fact, I have got a lot of clients coming and telling me we are sleeping well after we have started following your diet because the food, because, probably they were not eating well, they were overeating, they were eating less. Maybe there was some food group which was missing. Okay. Now, food has the capacity to heal as well as, to improve your, sorry, to decrease your stress levels because especially the fruits and the vegetables, the berries that are present, they contain certain polyphenols which are known to, release certain chemicals which are going to enhance your, enhance the level of calmness. So that is where the gut health also comes into picture. So as I'm a gut health nutritionist, I can
Mm,
speak a little
mm,
more on this. Our
okay.
gut has got trillions of bacteria, which are good as well as bad, depending upon the food that we consume, depending upon the stress levels that we have, the environment that we are exposed to, as well as the exercise or the sedentary lifestyle that we have. So now our point, our focus should be to improve the good bacteria and reduce the bad bacteria. And
Mm,
when the good bacteria start improving, they are known to release certain chemicals which will calm the brain much better. Like, let me give you an example. Having a glass of hot milk in the night was an age old remedy. Remember?
mm.
And
Yes.
now that was not just, and that used to induce a calm sleep. The reason being, milk contains, it contains tryptophan, which then gets converted to serotonin and then which enhances your sleep. And that is why you sleep much better and calm in the night time when you're going to have that hot cup of milk. So this is an age-old remedy which has been followed in India. I don't know since how many ages, and still you'll find,
Yeah.
some people who are like in the older population following this, and they do get good night sleep. Nowadays, even a lot of herbal remedies, like, having chamomile tea in the night time, also induces good sleep. All these things put together, and of course, these are all the herbs, the ingredients, the foods. Finally, food contains micronutrients. They contain certain phytochemicals, certain nutrients, certain gut enhancing, lactobacilli, or fiber will provide food to the lactobacilli in the large
Mm,
intestine. So everything put together is something that's going to give you mental health, physical health, psychological health, and that is where we call as a holistic change rather than just looking at food as one part of it, exercise is a part of it. It should
mm,
be everything combined and it should
mm,
be holistic. So, sometimes we will not work on food. See, I meet my patients or, clients every 15 days.
right.
Maybe after 15 days, I might not work on the food, but we might work on the sleep strategies.
Ah.
We might tell the person, please stop exercising because you're doing a lot of exercise. Calm down a little bit, do lesser exercise. It sometimes it has to go the other way around. We think that more the exercise, better it is. It does not work that way.
Mm. That's so interesting. Again, also the correlation between sleep and weight loss. I mean, that's
Yes.
another thing that you will tell your kids, get up and do something, and keep active, don't sleep. But in fact, I mean, yeah, don't oversleep. But in fact, if you've had a good night's sleep, then that will help you with weight loss, which is
Yes.
another very interesting fact. So two questions again to this. How do you know you've had enough sleep when things are quantified for you? Sleep for 7 hours, sleep for 8 hours, or have so many gallons of water. But it's got to be individual, right? And so how do I know I've slept well? I mean, this is such a stupid question. I should know,
No,
but
no, no, no. No, no. This is a
but
very,
that
very, very good question. Yeah.
and then also the next question after that will be weight loss, and strategies. But yes, sorry.
Sleep is very individualistic. Some people sleep for 5 hours and then they're fresh in the morning, but some people need 10 hours and then too they feel sleepy in the day. Okay, it's a very thin line, and you need to understand that. What happens is, how do you know that you've got enough of sleep? Simple thing: once you get sleep and you get up in the morning, you feel okay. I have completed my sleep. You're not going to feel groggy. You're not going to feel exhausted and tired. A lot of people, when they get up in the morning, also they feel, no, my sleep is not complete. I still want to sleep. Okay. Even after they have slept for about 8 hours, they still feel, no, my sleep is not complete. And if it
Hmm.
continues over a period of time, then we would say there is some nutritional deficiency which we need to tackle. It could be due to
Ah.
several nutritional deficiencies. But if a person is slept for 8 hours and gets up in the morning, he will feel fresh. He will feel fresh to do the probably the workouts in the morning. He will be fresh throughout the day, energetic, enthusiastic, not feeling sleepy in the afternoon, even if after eating food, feeling light in the day, even as the day advances, till the time he decides, okay, I'm sleeping by about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, he's active, she's active, meaning that you have had a good night's sleep. But if nothing of
Hmm.
this is happening, probably you're just sleeping for, 4 or 5 hours and then getting up in the morning, not feeling fresh, feeling a little drowsy by, say, afternoon or evening. That means either your sleep is not complete or then there is certain nutritional deficiency, which then we need to tackle that.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. And so now everything about a dietitian, nutritionist seems to be about weight. So if we can tackle the elephant in the room, so to say, how important
Okay.
is weight loss? What sort of aspects is it affecting? Because I was talking to an orthopedic consultant the other day, and he was telling me about how every half a kg of weight gain will be such a huge stress on your joints. So things like that. So weight loss, and yeah, is it good to reduce weight sort of drastically? You see these programs to drastic weight loss in 15 days, or oh, I've got a wedding to attend in a month, weight loss.
So everybody wants a quick fix because nobody's got patience. That is why these options are working very well. But finally, you need to keep patience because it took you about, say, about a year to put on weight. Now just give your body some time to lose that weight. I mean, it's being unfair to the body. To then the body is making adjustments, and losing muscle is the first adjustment we make. Then
Ah.
you'll start seeing the results on the face if it is not going by the healthy way, or you will start seeing sagging of the skin, not feeling active in the day, feeling groggy and tired. These are all the fallouts if it is not done well.
Mm.
Probably if you are, too determined to, fit into that lehenga for the wedding or something, you will be very determined for, how much time? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but not beyond that. Then, then you
Mm.
start losing. Then you start losing interest. Then you start, missing out on, being strict. Then you start having these cheat meals on and off. So quick fix has got short-term results. And a lifestyle change will have a result which will be, long lived, which means that even if you decide to go wrong, say Diwali was just around the corner,
Yes.
okay? And everybody, I mean, if you would have seen my page, I have asked people to enjoy the Diwali savories and sweets because that comes once in a year and you should not miss out on that. If you follow a sound diet plan, yes, you will put on a little bit of weight, but you will know how to go back to your routine and you will lose all that weight immediately after Diwali. Or probably you might not put on also so much of weight because the body is adapting to that. But if you're following drastic diets and then suddenly you start eating, coming back to your routine immediately, then you are just going to see that all the efforts have gone in vain because your body is sort of in a state of a shock when it is suddenly deprived of food, and your metabolism crashes because body has got this mechanism that whenever it feels unsafe and unsafe environment, it is not going to lose the fat and store it and increase the storage of the fat. Okay, this is
Mm.
what especially happens in fat diets, is like the fat is not lost so much, but the muscle starts losing because it is scared that the food is not going to be available, so might as well decrease the metabolism so that i can I can survive, I can live. That is the only work of the body, the systems in the body. And your mind will say something else, but your body has to do something else. And this is exactly what happens when you go on a crash diet. You will see the result, but it is short lived. And the minute you start eating food, your metabolism is low. And that is why whatever food you eat starts getting converted more and more into fat. This is what happens. Of course, weight loss is very, very essential. You need to be close to your ideal body weight. But, the thing is, it changes as per the age, and everybody needs to understand this. A woman of 40 probably can't be as lean as what she was in her 20s, and this is a realistic fact. And that fact check should be pretty much in place. Because what happens is you will say, and there are a lot of women who come to me and say, like, say about 10 years back this is what my weight was and now it's getting very difficult. No, but this is a new normal for you, understand that. And trying to achieve that which is impossible leads to a lot of frustration, which is not realistic. And
Mm,
that realistic check is pretty much required to be given to a lot of people. Because see, when you're young, your metabolism is completely different, and any rubbish you used to eat also used to be well adapted by your body. But the minute you hit 30 and onwards, your body doesn't behave the same. So every time you eat wrong, your body is not going to behave the same way as it did
mm,
in the younger days when you were teenage or young adults.
mm,
So you need to have the fact check about it. You need to be sure that you have understood this well and then working on the body. So that is
mm.
where people after 30 are started getting more conscious about how focused weight loss is. And as I was telling earlier, unless and until you work on your nutrition, your sleep, your exercise, and your stress levels, you are not going to see the results that you're looking at. So, yes, if you want certain results which are short lived, do it, but do it under the guidance so that a dietitian knows how to put you into it and they will know how to get you out of it.
So true. And another big aspect of your work and your specialization is gut health, Avanti. So we
Yes,
hear so much about prebiotics, probiotics, and there's like so much of information being, sent our ways. Um, and it's also maybe a newer science. So if you could talk a bit about how can I have a healthy gut, what is a healthy gut, what
mm,
does that mean? And also, interestingly, when we were exchanging notes, you also said to me how hormones and gut are so closely related. So if you
yes,
could talk about
yes,
that as well,
yes,
and again, so somehow it's intertwined with age as well, because of course, post menopause, pre-menopause, all this sort of thing.
yes,
But yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So gut health is basically we refer. So gut is your entire digestive system, okay? And when we refer to gut health, we refer to the microorganisms which are majorly present in your large intestine. That is what we talk about gut health, majorly. And now, as I was just mentioning a few seconds back, gut health is like the millions and trillions of bacteria which are present, microorganisms, not only bacteria, but majorly bacteria, which are present in your large intestine. And our work should be to improve the number of good bacteria and decrease the number of bad bacteria. The reason being, the good bacteria have got a lot of roles to play in the body. First, I was telling you it has the capability of producing certain neurotransmitters. That is a major role. That is the gut brain axis. Okay. Then it helps in your immunity. So they have a capacity to manufacture certain nutrients. Okay. They, of course, improve your immunity. They help in the digestion of certain foods. Uh, these are all the functions, and they also play a role in reducing the obesity and also hormonal balance. Okay,
So
so
they are
this
actually
is what the
creating
gut bacteria
nutrients.
do. They do create certain
Oh
nutrients. So,
wow,
the
okay.
B12, that is, we say, like, let's take sources of B12. If I'm not a non-vegetarian, I don't get B12. No, you can make it in your body just by improving the beauty of the number of microorganisms that are present.
Wow.
Now, there are various ways in which you can improve the gut microbiota. Okay. First way is by directly taking the lactobacilli, which comes from the natural sources, that is the buttermilk, which is the most natural source which we are getting through our diet. Okay. But having said that, we recommend that you generally set the curd at home. Now, if it gets difficult to set the curd at home, then the second option would be having certain ingredients. Like, so there are certain fermented vegetables like kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha, okay, which are having these lactobacilli and different strains of lactobacilli. Apart from that, you also have kefir milk,
Mm.
okay, which is also having lactobacilli present in it. And then apart from these sources, then you will have, the supplements which are available in the market. But I would always say rely on the natural sources and then rely on the supplements, because the
Mm.
supplements not necessarily will give you the effect as the natural foods.
Mm.
Okay.
Sorry to interject, Avanti, and you do carry on after that. But is it enough to have just one of these? Because all these kombucha and kimchi are such new things. They can be foreign language to you. So just sticking to your yogurt, homemade curds, is that enough?
Sorry. So you were asking, is it enough to just have one probiotic?
Yeah, what you're used
Yeah.
to at home.
Yes, yes, of course. So best source will be like, having buttermilk. But as I was just saying, like it's always better to make the buttermilk at home rather than
Right.
buying it from, the store-bought one. So if
Yeah.
that is not the possibility, then you move on to, having kimchi and kombucha and all these things.
But
Now,
but
having
then
said
even
that,
that you need to make them at home, don't you? Even
no,
the
no, no,
kimchi
no,
and the
that can be
oh
store-bought. That can be store-bought.
oh
That is
oh
that you
I
need not
see.
make at home. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
uh, that can be store bought. Because the thing is, like, they have see the curd which is there now, which is pasteurized and etc. So
Yeah.
probably the effect won't be as good as the way which you make it at home,
Right.
right? But these other things, no, they are like, and the good suppliers, or the good vendors will be always having the best way or the best strains that are available. So having said that, also these kombucha, kimchi, and all need not be taken as, in larger quantities, like how you will take a sabzi.
Mm.
It has to be taken in very minute quantities, probably, just taking it like a pickle on the side. That is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
important. Okay, like how you consume a
Right.
pickle, it's exactly to be consumed like that. Nothing more than
Right.
that. Even if you
Right.
consider something like a beetroot kanji, it should be only 50 ml at a time. It is so
Mm.
strong in the strains of microbiota that you need not consume so much at a time. So, but that is a good question you brought up, because a lot of people, they're consuming multiple things at one time, considering that the probiotics are healthy. Not necessary. If you're not able to make a lifestyle change with the other changes in the factors, then just having probiotics is not going to be enough. So other factors like, eating wholesome food, eating more of home cooked meals, exercising, sleeping well, all these things are also essential.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm. Mm.
And then comes another category which is known as prebiotics. This is the fiber which is present in your fruits and vegetables. So, like the way we need food, the microbiota also need food. And then once this fiber from the fruits and the vegetable reaches the large intestine, the microbiota feed on it, multiply, and that is where the increase in the good bacteria number. And apart from that, ghee, which we consume in the diet, consists of short chain fatty acid, that is the short saturated fat. Now, that also helps to increase the load of the microorganisms. So, that is one
Ah,
more reason why we insist that you consume ghee in the diet, because of this
right.
particular reason. So,
Right.
all these things put together, that is, finally, what I'm asking you to do is consume a balanced diet, isn't it? Roti,
Mm.
sabzi,
Yes.
dal, chawal, having a glass of buttermilk,
Yes.
making sure you're having two fruits in the day. A
Mm.
very, very easy
Mm.
balanced diet. You don't need to complicate it. It can be as simple as this.
Mm. Two things, Avanti. I've noticed that you always say buttermilk rather than yogurt or curds. So it's better
Yeah.
to have a buttermilk rather than just a
Yes, yes,
dahi.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. So this is what I learned from
Right.
one of the Ayurvedic practitioners, and I started believing in that. Is because buttermilk you dilute it, and prakriti changes. Every food has got different prakriti. So curd basically it's very strong, right? The number of
Yeah.
microbiota are going to be pretty strong. So it changes the prakriti changes. The prakriti of the food changes from the curd to the buttermilk.
Mm. Because in Ayurvedic terms, the curd is more heat producing, whereas the
Yes.
buttermilk is more cooling, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
There was also another question that I wanted to ask you when we were talking about weight loss. So let's say I'm losing weight, I'm doing whatever it is. How do I differentiate whether, without doing tests, how do I know whether I'm losing muscle or whether it's fat that I'm losing? Because you talked of the difference between muscle weight or is it fat that I'm
Hmm.
losing?
So, Sujata, is actually going to be very difficult just by looking and considering
Ah,
whether you've lost muscle or not. The
Right, right.
simplest thing would be doing a body composition, because that is where we'll get the real picture. But now, having said that, a simple way which you can determine, a very basic thing, but of course you have to do your body composition at the end of the day. Okay, if you're losing weight, and a lot of times people see like my weight on the scale has not changed, even if I'm following the diet for about 15 days, one
Yes.
month, they get disheartened. But the good news is probably your denims are fitting you better. Probably, people who see you after a long time are telling you, okay, you've really lost weight, and you're feeling energetic, and you're able to, carry on with the day with much productivity than what you're able to do before. But there is no change in your weight. Okay, your weight is on the scale is still the same,
Ah,
but you are seeing all
yes.
these other changes that are happening, meaning it's a win-win situation, meaning
Mm.
you're losing upon your fat percentage, but your muscle is just intact.
Okay,
So
okay.
that is one very easy way to determine. But having said that, see, everybody wants to see results when they come to us. We can't just say, like this is what you're seeing, and
Yeah,
they will
yeah,
not
yeah,
believe
yeah,
in that.
yeah.
So we insist that you do a body composition where you definitely see that there is a difference in the fat percentage,
Mm,
increase in the muscle mass, increase in the
mm,
body water in the
mm.
body, and then though that's a win-win situation.
So I said in many ways, when we are trying to lose weight, we are really going against the intelligence of the body because the body is actually trying to keep that equilibrium, right? All throughout.
Yes,
It's trying to
yes,
maintain, and we are actually
yes,
trying to make a dent into it. Sorry, going back to gut health and hormones, if you could
yeah.
elaborate a bit about that, especially women's hormones. We were talking about on the chat, we were talking about PCOD, PCOS.
PCOS, PCOS.
PCOS.
Yeah. So PCOS also has got so now hormone health also has got a lot of connection with gut health, okay? Directly and indirectly. Now, let me tell you how. Indirectly is like, like it's a vicious cycle, okay? Once your gut health is affected, your hormones get disrupted, meaning there is a change in the levels of, your insulin. You start getting probably insulin resistant. You start putting on weight. Obesity is the first thing that happens probably. When the microbiota is disturbed, obesity might be one thing. Once the obesity starts setting in, your hormone disruption starts happening. Your levels of estrogen and progesterone keep on changing, and this especially happens in the case of PCOS. Another two terms, okay? PCOD is polycystic ovarian disorder, and PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. So it starts with the disorder, which is only of the reproductive hormones, that is the estrogen and the progesterone. But when it starts advancing to the other hormone system, the other endocrine system, which is like, your testosterone, your cortisol, probably, your insulin sensitivity, or your insulin resistance starts happening, then we call it as a syndrome. So it's not just the disorder of your estrogen and progesterone, but it is something to do more with the other hormones coming into picture as well. Now, why does this
Right.
happen? First of all, there is a dysbiosis in the microbiota, meaning the bad bacteria keep on increasing. They start
Ah,
disrupting your hormone. Okay, they start producing
wow.
certain bad chemicals, like the way we have good chemicals, there'll be certain bad chemicals where it starts increasing the obesity. Increase in the obesity often leads to disruption of the hormones. It's a classic thing. Or even like probably your cycle gets affected, your periods are not coming every month, and it starts getting disrupted. So this is a lot to do with your lifestyle. Okay, it is not just related to the
Mm,
gut dysbiosis happening. So it is not
mm,
just related to probably the gut health is not good. Why is the gut health not good? You're not eating well, you're not
mm,
exercising, you're having a sedentary lifestyle, there's too much of stress in your body. Now, coming to stress, okay? Chronic stress is something which starts increasing the cortisol, that is the
mm,
stress hormone in the body. Cortisol starts increasing, and it starts disrupting the other hormone systems in your body, that is the testosterone, where the testosterone starts increasing. Testosterone in women, when it starts increasing, along with the estrogen progesterone being disrupted, you will start seeing a lot of physical signs like hirsutism, facial hair,
mm.
especially if there is a hormone disruption happening. And then you start seeing a lot of insulin resistance, meaning darkening around the neck region. Okay,
Ah.
that is one classic sign of
Oh, those are
insulin
telltale
resistance.
signs. Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes. And can it be corrected? Yes, it can. So, how we correct it? We start correcting the lifestyle. We start improving the gut health. We start introducing
Mm,
exercise, mindful practices, and managing the stress. So, When we give a diet, we just don't give a diet. We work on
Mm.
all these lifestyle things together. We have to write it and
Mm.
give. Please meditate for 5 minutes in the morning, and we ensure that you do that. I mean, it's finally for your own good, And once you start making these changes, we have seen a lot of women, start regularizing their period in the second or the third month itself. They've
Wow.
not got the periods for 2 3 months, and then in the second and the third month only they have started regularizing the periods. Now once the periods start regularizing, the symptoms of insulin resistance also start going down. Hirsutism, meaning the existing hair, of course you have to remove cosmetologically, but then new hair, new facial hair and all start reducing, because we are working on multiple things together at one time.
Mm, that's so interesting. That's so interesting. I have taken so much of your time, Avanti, but I'll still like to ask you two more questions. So one question that I'd like to ask you around is your book, Eat Smart.
Mm.
If you can give us a few tips I'll tell you where I'm coming from. So as Indians, we are a very social society. We go out, we have religious functions all the time, festivities going on. So there's always an excuse to not eat healthy. So what are those few things that we should be mindful of when, let's say, we're going into a restaurant to eat? So if you could give us a few hacks around those, and also ordering food. So when I say ordering, I don't mean ordering in a restaurant, but the sequence of food when you're eating. So if you could give us hacks around that.
Yeah. So Sujata, my podcast is there, and if you could just put the link to that,
Yes.
it will be great, because in that I have specially made an episode on how to enjoy social drinking. That's also one more thing, very very essential, and how
Okay,
to enjoy
okay.
street food, and how to enjoy
Right.
when you're socializing. So these are very
Definitely.
very practical tips with examples which I have given of my own clients, so people
Okay.
can relate to it really well. But now just summing it up for you. So whenever you go out to places where social gatherings, where you have to go to somebody's house, probably there will be limitation, because whatever is being offered, you have to eat out of that. But nowadays, people are getting a lot conscious, and
Mm,
people are mindful about including a lot of things in the menu, which are going to be healthy as well as a combination of unhealthy. So if
mm.
you want to be healthy, if you want to be mindful, you have a way out of it. And if you don't want to be mindful, then you'll automatically see the
Find
fried food, see
excuses.
the sweet, right? You'll find excuses.
Yeah.
So if you are saying like, okay, I'm going to just tighten my diet a little bit after Diwali, and now I'm not going to really indulge into something which is a lot of fried food because I have enjoyed enough, then
Mm,
always remember, start your meal with first of all, if it's just going to be a late night and you're used to having your meals early, eat and go, at least half stomach full, eat and go. And this is
uh,
the sequence. Once you reach there, of course there will be social drinking, of course there might be socializing. So what you do is, in fact, I think I will mention what are the drinks that are safe to consume, but be mindful
okay.
that you're not having any cocktails. Very, very important. See that you're hydrating well throughout. And whenever you're eating, make sure that you're eating and then consuming the alcohol, because that
Right.
is not going to hit you as hard. And then if you're going to eat with the alcohol, ensure that there is something like a salad platter. There's something like a boiled food along with that, or tikkas to go with that. And then you're really not getting into something which is like a fried food, or
Right.
bhajiyas,
Your
or
pakode or
something
whatever.
like
Yeah.
a Chinese, yeah, a Chinese starter, which are generally fried. So you can
Mm,
choose, and
mm,
then after that, when you're consuming your meal, or imagine a scenario where there is no alcohol at all, and then you're just simply going out to eat in restaurants, make
yeah.
it a point that you're consuming a good, wholesome platter of a salad, which could be a grilled salad, it could be a cut salad, or, depending upon the, if it's Indian,
Yeah.
it could be a
The
cut salad.
cuisine. Yeah.
If, yeah, cuisine changes. If you're having Mexican, it could be lovely Mexican salad, which is having corn and guacamole and everything. And then if it's on a continental or an Italian, then you could definitely go in for a grilled salad. Grilled
Mm,
salad for a continental could be a grilled salad. With that, probably you could have your chicken or your fish to go with that, which is grilled again. Avoid the carbs if you want to over there. If you want to really enjoy the salad
mm,
and the grilled portion. Now, when I was talking about the sweet potatoes and why I like it,
Mm.
because it can merge anywhere. It can go with your salads. It can go as as a side dish. You can make lovely, cutlets out of it and serve it over there. And it's a little better rather than indulging into other kind of fried foods. So this can be done. So start with a salad or start with a
Mm.
clear soup, and then move on to the protein, and then finally move on to the carbs, and say no to
Ah,
sweets and desserts if you want to be mindful. If a day you decide, okay, I want to indulge, eat your sweet, next day get back on track.
wow. Fantastic, fantastic advice, Avanti. Last question. Any any story, any episode, through your career that's either touched your heart, success stories, stayed with you, anything to end up?
Um, Actually, lots. So, I
Yeah.
listen to a lot of podcasts. As depending upon the mood or depending upon what it is, yes, of course, it touches. But yeah, I listen to a lot of inspiring stories and, a lot of entrepreneurship stories. And the one that has touched the most, I love to watch all episodes to do with barbershop. If somebody wants to get into entrepreneurship, it's an
Okay.
amazing podcast.
Okay.
And Gaurang Das is somebody who I really resonate with these days, and I
Right.
love to listen to his preaching that he
Right.
does. I feel like he's very grounded, and I think I resonated well with him. And of
Mm.
course, it keeps on changing. And my ideal person is Indira Nooyi. I really look up to her, and I feel, and there are so many women like that, who have
Yeah.
made a mark managing everything pretty well. I think
Yeah.
yes, even I can do it that way then.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Amazing. I wanted to ask you one quick question, Avanti. From a nutritionist, consulting nutritionist point of view, you can only do this in person, right? So if somebody wants to come to you, they need to come and
No, no,
see you in
online as
person.
well. Online
Oh,
as well.
really?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. So we have
okay.
plans all around the world.
Okay. But then how do you get them to do their
So,
tests,
so the
etc.?
thing is like we connect with them, sorry, or
Yeah.
they connect with us, either or, and
Yeah.
we have a health insight questionnaire. We send it to them, and then
Right.
they will get it filled. And depending upon the convenience of the client, we do a video call, or then we do a call schedule like an audio call, and then we this schedule what I talked about 15 days is pretty much applicable to people who come visit us as well as people who are online as well.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I've
That's
got
great.
plans all, and I would encourage that, meaning why not?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, sorry to ask a direct question, but how expensive is it to see a nutritionist these days? And I'll put, it's interesting information to put on the podcast for people to know as
Mm.
well.
No, I wouldn't say it's expensive because the thing is like, that's why we say, like invest in somebody who is knowledgeable.
Mm. Of
Maybe,
course,
if it's in your locality, your area as
of
well.
course, yeah.
But see that the person is with you, mentoring you, working as a health coach,
Mm.
being able to, guide you. So today, if a client signs up with me, most of them are with me and my team on the WhatsApp, sending me pictures of what they eat, what they're exercising.
Oh, wow, to
So they
that
don't have a
detail.
way out of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, once you sign up with us, your result is my responsibility. And I mean, and I have a team for that who follows up with them. We connect with them. So we
yeah.
teach you the nitty-gritties now. We are with you
Okay.
throughout this.
Excellent, excellent. I'll put links under the podcast to all of
Yes.
whatever's available. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough,
Thank you.
Avanti. It's such a huge topic, and I think we've still managed to pack loads into this hour. So, no, thank
Yes.
you so much for your time, for your generosity, and I'm sure the audience will benefit with this.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here.